Do you know that feeling when you are starting in your project? You are excited about the creative possibilities, but you first have to create all the tasks, set up the timeline, assign team members, calculate due dates, send notifications. It's exhausting before you even begin the actual work. My team used to lose so much momentum just getting started. But what if I told you that you can save hours of project and task setup with just one click? One single click. If you're new here and we haven't met yet, I'm Yvonne Hyman from AskEvie.com, and I'm a business efficiency consultant and ClickUp evangelist since 2018. And today I am sharing an automation that will completely transform how you handle any repeatable process in your business. You see what I did there? Any repeatable process in your business, because that's pretty much what you're doing. The same thing over and over and over again. We don't do this manually anymore. Whether you are managing podcast production, client onboarding, or content creation, this single automation replaces hours of manual work. But here's what most people miss. This isn't just about saving time, it's about creating the consistency that lets your team focus on being brilliant and let out their creative, and they don't have to worry about all the behind the scenes stuff. So let's dive into the magic. Let's look at this task right here. I have a webinar test podcast, and we are marking this as recording done. Now, if you have looked into my podcast workflow, there's other things happening too. We're going to have to clean up our Google Drive because it is generating assets over in Google Drive, all kinds of things. But what is even more fun in here is this task did not have subtasks. This task did not have a due date, and the subtask didn't have due dates either. So what happened here? When I hit the recording done, an automation was triggered that applied our podcast template, meaning we have the process ready of all of these subtasks. We have this ready as a template. That template has a due date and the associated subtask due dates. But when you set the template, you choose just whatever kind of due date, because all we care in the template is about the relationship between the main task due date and the subtask due date. And not only that, Libby just got notified that, by the way, the recording is done. We are ready to get working. Now, how did we do that? This is an automation that is actually fairly simple to build when you know your process. So as you can see, the trigger in ClickUp is when the podcast stage is set to recording done, meaning I have recorded the podcast. I'm done with the guest. If I have a guest on my podcast, I'll set it recording done. Awesome, sweet, perfect. Now, what this automation does is it first applies our task template, meaning all of these subtasks with all of the assignees, with all of the due dates. If you have time estimates, all of those, that template is ready to go. That also then changes it to in progress. Just in case automation in the past didn't run as supposed to be, it's now in progress. We are working on it. There's the comment that you just saw in there. Libby is getting notified, and I do this because we also have an automation for the graphic delivery, and I don't want her to have to search for the link left and right. So I commented on it, so it's in the comment section. She can just click on it and submit the thumbnails when she's ready for that. And then the magic happens. Change the due date. That means changing the due date on the main task. And we are doing so with a fields from trigger. When we are planning out podcast episodes, we have a custom date field in here that has a live date. That is the date this podcast episode is supposed to get published. We are already planning out. As you can see, we are planned out into August. I just finally need to record my 2 solo episodes and we are all set. So what this automation does is it applies the template, sets it to in progress if it hasn't been in that status yet, tells Libby that I'm done recording, and grabs that custom due date from live date and adjusts it in the template. That's how this live date became the due date, and based on the template, remaps the subtask due dates in the same amount of days. Does the remapping of the due dates make sense? Are you understanding correlation between the main task due dates and the subtask due dates? Because when building out this template to run an automation like this, that's what it comes down. Because the task template does need due dates in it. You just simply need to build the timelines between the main task due date and the subtask due date. So the days in between is what is important. And there you have it. Once it's all set up, you'll stop wasting hours manually creating and assigning tasks. You automatically calculate due dates with zero guesswork. You keep your team moving without consistent check-ins. And you build repeatable workflows that scale effortlessly. We use automations like this in so many different setups, and now we are also integrating AI with this. In my podcast, One Stage literally goes out, researches my guests, gives me all their websites, gives me ideas about questions to ask, simply by saying we are ready to record. Let me know in the comments, what's the first repeatable process you are going to automate? And if that one-click automation made you excited for more, go watch this video right here where I show you how to take it even further with recurring tasks in ClickUp. And that's how you build a system that not only runs, but keeps running without you. See you in the next video.